Okay, so today we are going to dive into a segment of a one-on-one call that I did with one of my clients, and I thought that you would find this valuable because I'm helping him to structure reframes for his particular offer. So part of this is the reframes unto themselves, but then the other part of this is kind of the psychology and the thinking that goes behind the reframes, so that you might be able to use some of this information yourself to help you to be able to close more deals. So with all of this said, let's get stuck in, and I hope you enjoy.
One thing I'm just thinking of is the role model and the identity reframe. It's like, oh, what would you be doing if you were like already a decisive businessman who's acting with conviction and like making fast decisions? I can't really use that in this case, right? Because it's their son who's taking the program. It's like I can't be saying, oh, like your decisions is why like your son is not doing well right now.
Okay, so this is not going to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
But to give you an understanding of how I would be restructuring this for your offer. All right, Andy. So obviously I understand where you're coming from, right? Like it makes a lot of sense. You want to make sure that you're making the right decision for your son. And ultimately this is gonna get you and your child to where you want them to be. Do you have any friends in your social circle or any people that you know of where you look at how they've raised their kids and you think they've done a fantastic job? For example, like even if you look at, try and tailor this to the company that would be relevant, that they would want their kids to be in. Let's say, for example, with BlackRock, I'm going to just use that as an example.
Yeah.
And someone's kid has managed to get into BlackRock, which is obviously an extremely prestigious company to work for. Do you think that that parent, when they were presented with opportunities that they knew were going to work, where it would help them with getting better at mathematics or being able to go to certain networking events, even if it was on very short notice, that they would turn down the opportunity to do X, Y, and Z thing because they need to sleep on it? Or do you think that they're part of the reason why their son has become so successful is because when an opportunity was presented to them, they seized it? That's the really, really rough skeleton of what it would look like. It needs to be structured a lot better than that. And part of this comes down to me not understanding your niche as well, but it's more about the principle. Right? We're continuing to keep the principle behind the role model reframe in place. It's you. What do you think the version of a very successful parent looks like in this situation where they're saying, I do actually believe that this is going to work? Do you think that they are taking time before making a decision? Or do you think the reason why their child is so successful is because they move at speed?
Yeah, you're a genius, man. Yeah, that makes total sense. I was thinking of that, not exactly in, like with the clarity that you just mentioned, but I was thinking that, oh, what if I try to frame it in a way saying that, right, like obviously like not saying this directly, but passing on the feeling that, oh, if they make this decision, that is actually going to be a positive, like they're going to become a positive role model for their son from the way that they take action with conviction and they're not procrastinating. But I guess you're thinking,
That is another angle. It's difficult for you to have that conversation with them though in front of the child. But
yeah,
there's a
that's
way
like
there is a way we can frame this, which is, okay, Andy, role play this with me. Okay, Andy, like I know, right? Like life it has its challenges, right? As you get older, things lose their sparkle a little bit. You understand that you have to work hard in order to live a good life. And I'm assuming that's part of the reason why you want to take your son through this process in the first place, so that when they become a fully fledged adult, they can take care of themselves and be successful. Is that correct?
absolutely, man. Yeah, it's the main reason I'm on the call.
Okay, cool. And when you look at successful people, what would you say are some of the core traits that they embody? Would you say that they're generally consistent, they're hardworking, they're meticulous, and that they don't procrastinate, right? They're decisive and they move with speed. Would you say that that's fair to say that those are the core traits of someone who is successful?
I do agree with that, but I feel like there's caveats. I feel like successful people, they would also, if it's an important decision, they'd want to take some extra time to make sure that they're
I agree.
making the best decision possible.
They're strategic, right? I agree
Yes.
on that front. Okay, so just on that side of things, let's work off of the basis. So with this, I would have done a retype beforehand because what you said is true. They have to be sold on the product. In this situation, if they're not sold on the product, then it's a product objection. It's not a fair objection.
Yep.
So in this situation, it would be that they are sold on the product, but they're just in a state of fit. So first thing should be the retie, just to double check that they're sold on the product. And then we're going into everything that I'm talking about. Okay. So let's work off the assumption that you are sold on the product, but that you're in a state of fit. So would you agree with me that those are the core traits of someone who is successful?
Yes, I'd agree.
Okay, cool. I'm going to flesh out what you have said as well, just so that you have a counter. But obviously, I do agree with you. Like, part of becoming successful is being strategic and working smart instead of just working hard. But with this in mind, if somebody who's super successful, who's working in the Magic Circle or for BlackRock or whatever institution it might be, if they know that it's the right fit for them and it actually aligns with their objectives and their goals, do you think when they're presented with those types of opportunities that they are decisive and instead of wasting time, they kind of just get to work immediately? Would you say that that's fair to say?
I think that's fair to say.
Okay, cool. And obviously, Andy, for you to be in the position that you're in right now, where your kid has had private tuition in the past, they go to a really good school, they're doing extracurricular activities, I'm sure that you yourself have embodied a lot of these characteristics and a lot of these traits in order to get to the level of success that you have. Ultimately, what I'm getting at is this. Yes, in this product, I'm going to teach John about X. I'm going to teach John about Y. I'm going to teach John about Z, so that he, from a practical standpoint, fully understands the subject matter of X.
Yeah.
But part of being successful isn't just knowing things, it's knowing how to take action. And so ultimately, what I'm getting at is, in order for your son to develop those character traits, and feel free to give me pushback on this, feel free, okay? Do you think that it's important for him also to see you embodying those character traits, especially in situations where, at least from what I can see, this genuinely is the right fit? In which situation do you think he's more likely to be successful, is what I'm asking. In the situation where he's presented with an opportunity that he knows beyond reasonable doubt is going to work for him and he takes action immediately, or in the situation where he's presented with an opportunity, again, that beyond reasonable doubt he knows is going to work for him, he procrastinates out of a state of fear and doesn't move towards his goals? In which situation do you think he's going to be more successful?
Definitely the former. That's
okay. And so obviously the whole reason why we're having this conversation is because those are the traits that you want him to embody.
That's right.
But do you think it's fair for you to ask that of him if you are not willing to embody those traits yourself?
Jack, you're actually a genius, bro. That's insane. How do you just think of this on the fly? Have you I'm guessing you've dealt with like similar situations in the past.
Similar-ish situations, but it's the principles. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys, is sales from a first principle standpoint. Even that track that I've kind of given you, it does need a little bit of work. But you can see all of these different elements coming in, right? Binary questions, this situation or this situation, removing external locus of control, getting you to take responsibility, and also trying to be very careful with the language that I'm using so I don't trigger your ego. Loads of strategic questioning, like probably 8 questions to get to that one question that I want to ask you.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, like I vaguely knew the theory, but seeing it in practice, especially for an objection that I wouldn't, even if you gave me 2 hours, like wouldn't be able to cook up and response like that. Yeah, that's super helpful, man. Will I be able to get access to a recording?
I will send it to you as soon as the call is done.
You're a legend, man. Like, yeah, that's actually so helpful. You're actually a wizard. Like, I don't know how you do this, man. Right, all right. One more. This one's on. You're gonna love this one, Jack. This is not so much something that I anticipate anyone would say. I haven't had anyone say this to me, but I think it's a very valid concern that they might be thinking without saying it. It's like, I think if this program or product is genuinely valuable, it shouldn't involve demanding a decision and a payment in full on the spot. Because, like, I'm speaking from experience. Like, the first sales call I went on, I was on like the receiving end. As in like it was like a biz op offer for like branded drop shipping or something like that. Yeah, those sort of days. But that was one of the main concerns that I was having. I wasn't necessarily objecting the price, but just the very fact that it demands a on the spot payment.
But do you demand an on the spot payment?
I guess I don't demand it. I just thought it's kind of implied.
Yes, it's implied on what conditions? That it makes sense for them to buy it, right?
Yeah.
Right? So you're not demanding it at all. So that's the way that I would handle it. I'd be like, Andy, whether you decide to buy today, tomorrow, in a week's time, in a month's time, in 6 months' time, it makes no difference to me. I really do mean that. There's no pressure. There really is no pressure at all. The only thing that I really want to do on this call is figure out whether or not this is the right thing for your son to do. Now, obviously, I'm saying that there's no pressure. There is to an extent, but not from my side. More so from the stance of, obviously, there's a certain time frame that we're working with right now to get your son up to speed so that he can make full use of all of these opportunities that I can give him, right? But in terms of ultimately you wanting to have a think about it, which also is fine with me, bro. Obviously, you wouldn't say bro, which is fine with me, bro. When you do go away and have a think about it, what is it that you're going to be thinking about, just in case I can help you out with that? We've landed in the exact same place. The only thing that I've done is I've done a very heavy diffuse because you have given me very heavy pushback. So I'm giving you even more of a diffuse to put you in a state where it's like genuine. And it's true. You genuinely don't have to decide right now. You don't. But what I want to figure out is that a logical decision? Is you wanting to not make a decision right now logical? Because a lot of the time what you'll see, Andy, is that it's not logical for someone to wait. And so all you're doing is you're going through this process of asking them questions and understanding their perspective so you can see why they think it is logical. And so long as you keep your conviction, you're then able to explain to them in a way which will make sense why it's not logical. And then they will come to your viewpoint. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. So I guess like I can try to spin the conversation in that direction. If I drop the price and they don't say, oh yeah, I'm happy with that. Do I have to pay in full? If they just ask, like, if after I drop the price they just say, oh, like, is that like payment upfront, like in full in one go? How would I answer that?
Yeah,
like,
most people pay upfront.
Oh, right, okay.
So the reason why I'm structuring the sentence in that way is if someone pays close attention to what I'm saying, I am saying that there are other options available. Most people pay up front.
Yep.
But I'm also leaning the conversation in the direction of, yeah, you should pay up front.
Yeah,
that's how it sounds on the surface, but I am saying, no, there's other options available. So even later down the line, like they can't catch it. I have been very sneaky with my language, but I haven't lied to them.
Yeah.
So there's nothing for them to be upset about. Yeah.
Yeah. I see. So would it be fair to say that the way we're handling this is to not so much like not trivialize, but kind of remove some pressure or some, I guess, like perceived pressure around the whole idea of an upfront price by like alluding to the idea that other people are not finding this to be an issue?
Well, this is a different question that you're asking me, right? If someone asks, do people pay in full or should I pay in full? That's a different question to, I don't want to make a decision right now, right?
Okay, yeah.
With reference to the, I don't want to make a decision on the spot, the question, the thing that you're trying to figure out is, okay, that's fine. Like genuinely it is fine. And you need to approach it from that stance of, yeah, okay. It doesn't make a difference to me if you do this or not. But why? Why don't you want to make a decision on the spot? That's the question that you're trying to figure out, because that is the objection.
Yeah.
Is this making sense?
That's making sense, yeah. The root cause, like the real objection.
Exactly.
Smoking is real.
Exactly. Yeah?
Like, I don't know if that's kind of already encapsulated by what you've explained, but I'm thinking that they might, like, I feel like a potential source of, doubt or skepticism might be the fact that, like, competitors, or as in like regular tutoring companies, or just like academic coaching, they generally charge by the hour, or they generally charge like week on week. So it's just that contrast.
But there's an easy way to navigate that. That's because they lack structure, right? Like let's say for example, Andy. Let's say for example, in what situation do you think that your son is going to be more successful? In the situation where they go to a university where they can pay week by week, and they could go to the university for 2 weeks and learn however much of the curriculum, go for 4 weeks, go for 6 months, go for a year, or go to a university where it's a clear structured program that is designed in a way to ensure a determined outcome, then to decide a determined outcome, right? In which situation do you think they're going to be more successful? Where it's just hey, you can come along to these sessions and then, pick up some knowledge, or in the situation where everything is very step by step so that they can develop upon their understanding on a weekly basis?
Yeah, definitely the case where it's more structured, a more holistic solution.
Yeah. So this is another. I don't know how to explain this. This is the problem. There's so many different elements to sales, right? You're training this skill of being able to turn something that is perceived as a negative into a positive. You're finding the silver lining in everything, because what I have also said to you there is true. Like it's not like I'm manipulating anything at all. It is the truth.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But it's just honing your ability to be able to find those angles very quickly.
Yeah, for sure. That was like what I was intending on, the kind of response I was intending on creating as well. It's like I wrote here, like, creating an R2 response. So not just like handling it and shoving it to the side, but also actually increasing the conviction as a result of answering what is it appears to be a negative at first.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but I really like how you use like strategic questioning, like as like binary questions,
Yeah.
to not be just like me shoving it down her throat. Like, yeah, that makes sense. I guess I wrote it here.
Yeah, and that's one of the powers about binary questions, is it creates the illusion of choice, because you are making the decision.
Yeah.
You have full reign to tell me, no, it makes more sense if they do a weekly basis thing. But if I structure the question well enough, it becomes illogical for you to give that answer. So you feel like you have a choice, but you don't actually.
Yeah, unless like, I guess if you have like a very, very disagreeable person, they might just like jump out the paradigm of the two binary questions. But I guess that's gonna be a rarity. Might happen every once in a while. But
that will happen, but then you just bring it back. You just bring it back to the original question and get them to answer it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. This one, hopefully we'll have time for this after, like later on, but this this I should be fine. Oh, number 7, that'll be this is an interesting one. It's like it's not so much a problem that I'm like anticipating. It's more like a response I think that I know will be powerful, like a kind of a direction to take the court in which I know will be powerful. It's like if they ever are unsure about the value or unsure about whether they're comfortable spending like a big upfront payment given the state of the economy and like how brutal the cost of living is. I'm thinking of like using a set of strategic questions as like basically not directly saying it, but suggesting that if they don't buy, it's not that they're escaping the financial burden. It's just that they're relaying this financial burden onto their son, because by the time he has to fend for himself, the cost of living is not going to get any
better. To me, this is more value objection.
Yeah.
It seems like it's money, but it's value, right? So the way that I would do this is, okay, Andy, I know that I've asked you this question like 10 times, but I just want to quadruple check, okay? Do you genuinely believe that this will get John to the point where he accomplishes X? Because that really is the only thing that matters to me. Do you genuinely believe this will get John to X? Yeah?
Yeah.
And why do you feel like it will get John to X? Well, I think it will get John to X for X reason, for Y reason, for Z reason. Okay, I understand that. Now look, I know that obviously right now I am asking you to make a pretty decent investment into your son. And by the sounds of things, it's not the first time that you've done that. Even if it's not all at once, you've invested into them having tutoring in the past, you've invested into them going to after school clubs, you've invested into them learning musical instruments. And I'm assuming the reason why you have done that is because you know that all of this is going to contribute more towards their success, right? Yes, I believe that this was going to help them to contribute towards their success. Okay, cool, fine. I know that this is a little bit of a curveball question, right? But would you say that the job market and being successful today is a lot more challenging than it was when you were growing up? And the only reason why I ask this is because obviously now everybody has a degree, almost to the extent where if you're not studying the right degree, it's kind of useless. It's probably also part of the reason why you have John doing extracurricular activities, acting, music, sports, so that he can stand out from the rest of the competition. Would you say that it's a little bit more challenging these days to become successful? Well, when you put it like that, yes, I would. Okay. And moving forwards, given everything that's happening with AI, given everything that's happening right now with the economy, given everything that's happening at the moment with the cost of living, would you say it's a fair assumption to think, given the trend, that it's possible that things are going to continue to get more challenging as time goes by? Yeah, I do actually think that it's fair to say. Okay, cool. I guess ultimately what I'm getting at with all of this is, yes, I know that I'm asking you to make a decent investment into John right now. But if you pace this out 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and he follows that path that you want him to, because he will. I'm telling you now, if you get him into this product and we show him X, Y, and Z, and he will get to X, Y, and Z state, which will cause him to have X, Y, and Z job.
Yeah.
Do you think that it will be worth it making an investment of 2.6K today so that in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, you have complete peace of mind around the fact that he's going to be earning at least 6 figures a year? Do you think that that will be worth it? Yes.
That'll be more than worth it.
Yeah. So that's how I put it.
That's super powerful. Yeah. That's, if you force me to like come up with responses like that, I would do it very it's like kind of awkwardly. I'll just like feel like jumping straight to the strategic questioning at the very end. But I can see how that doesn't really land unless you've built it up using a few more strategic questions as like the bedrock.
Exactly. And that is what strategic questioning is. Strategic questioning is all of the questions. It's all of them. Because what I'm doing is I'm not asking you to make a massive jump in your logic. I'm asking you to take one step with me. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Okay, let's take the next step. Does that make sense? Yes, it does. Does that make... And then by the time we get to the final question, because all of the logic has been sound up until this point, there is only one logical outcome, which is whatever you're reframing the prospect on.
Wow. Yeah, that's actually so powerful. that is really sick. That is so cool. Or rewatch Articles of Attrition a few more times just to draw this in. Yeah, wow, that's, my god, yeah. pretty mind blown just hearing this. Let's see. I think I pretty much get that. I think in the limited time that we have left, this might be kind of good to look at. So for my answer vault, I'm still developing this. I think I'll develop this as I take more course. But like product questions or doubts aside, these are 3 that I have had in the past. Is there a free trial? Do you have a guarantee? Are we locked into this, or is there any way to get out? I guess like,
let's start with guarantee.
Oh yeah, all right.
Do you have a guarantee?
Yeah. I'm planning to like, it's not like I'm planning just to have like a unconditional guarantee where it's like, if they come to the program in the first 7 days, if they feel like it's out of alignment, then like I
wouldn't have a guarantee like that.
I have a guarantee.
I would have a guarantee of, if you don't get the outcome, then I will give you money back, but it's based on certain conditions. They have to do X, they have to do Y, they have to do Z, right?
Yeah, I see.
And it is, for you, it's really easy to justify why that is fair. For example, and I'll keep this one really short. For example, Andy, obviously I know that your son wants to go and study at Harvard, right? And the reason why is because you know if they go and study at Harvard, that realistically it's going to be super easy for them to get X job. Yes, cool. Yeah. But let's say, for example, they went to Harvard and they don't go to any of the classes, they don't do any of the homework, they don't do this, they don't do that, they don't do anything, and as a result they don't get the job at the end. Do you think that's would be Harvard's fault, or do you think that would be your son's fault? It would be my son's fault. Right, cool. So that's why we structure things in this way. I know that if John comes in here and he does X, Y, and Z, without question, he's going to get X out. So it's the same thing. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does make sense.
I see. Yeah. I think that could be. Yeah, I think that could be definitely implemented. And I guess
and then on the back end, it's and I know that it's going to work, but for your sake, for your peace of mind, if worst case scenario, he goes through this whole process and he doesn't get X outcome, we're willing to do something that Harvard isn't willing to do, which is to say to you that if you don't get the desired result that you want, we will give you your money back. Can you imagine how powerful that would be if Harvard said to you, if your son doesn't get this specific job after working with us, we would give you all of your money back? How much more likely do you think that Harvard would be to ensure, how much harder do you think that Harvard would work to ensure that your son succeeds if they had a condition in place like that? Or they would work a lot harder. That's the whole reason why we do it.
Yeah.
So hold us accountable and ensure that your son gets to your goal.
So if you would like to also be able to get direct help from me one-on-one to help you to improve your pitch, improve your discovery, improve your objection handling abilities, and even sit down with you and give you particular reframes that you can utilize for your offer, then feel free to book a call using the link in the description. If you like the video, like the video. If you want to continue to get more value, feel free to subscribe. But with all of that said, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you just